I possess neither wings nor the magician's mischief. But believe me, I can fly. And I can also be a landscape of mirrors that name whatever moves or has pretensions to be alive. On the wingspan of my desire, easy as the approach of any day you can clearly remember, I can fly to any place or moment fertile with memory, or create new ones fresh out the pearl. We begin. Again, we must move forward to a place where our dreams cannot be turned into nightmares, where our dreams are always in sight. We must again redden the blackest folds of our memory and intent. Thank you.
Inspired by the late, great Nobel laureate and wordsmith Ntate Keorapetse, who was laid to rest this week. That was a tribute by Thuthukani Maeza, who, at just 21 years of age, is the 2017 provincial winner of the slam poetry competition, Current State of Poetry. So yeah, heaven is certainly calling on our great forefathers, another, of course, being former president of a place I used to call home, Bophuthatswana, and that, of course, is Kgosi Mangane Mangope. May their souls indeed ascend into the afterlife. A big welcome and thank you for tuning in. This is Trendz, your entertainment news hub for SABC News, where every once in a while we might just switch things up and add a dash of current affairs, since we are, of course, on a news channel. And also, of course, it's a new year. My gosh, this is actually our first live show of 2018, so we're all ecstatic to be here doing what we love for all of you. My name is Rifil Wemula, and as a collective, we are at Trendz on SABC. And so, in the words of a man who was admired by millions the world throughout, but in particular, a great influence on Ntate Kgosi was Pablo Neruda. If you don't know who that is, Google him. So he once said, every day you play with the light of the universe. And if nothing else, may that be something we as the youth be cognizant of, so that when our final curtain calls come in our old age, we have lived full, meaningful lives. Take a look at this next clip of Brawili, Ntate Mogolo to you and I, doing what he did best. One thing, though, about the culture of reading. When we are younger, you know, books are part and parcel of every day. That's how we learn. But that almost wanes as we get older. So what do you have to say? Are you noticing that, you know, young people are more into books and reading and just broadening their minds, more than just magazines and Google? You know, do they really get into literature?
Unfortunately, I have to say they don't.
Oh.
They used
so
to
unfortunate.
Before, they don't.
Yes, yes.
But I think part of that is that they are not literate enough.
Oh, wow.
And
so it's multifaceted,
yeah,
the reasons for this.
For that.
It's not just one sole reason. Well, unfortunately, so great talking to you, Kgosi. We do have to wrap up. One thing I do want to ask you as last, you know, as a poet, Pablo Neruda, still your favorite?
Yes.
Okay, I was reading Pablo the other day and I said, yes, I remember. Years ago when we met, you told me this. You are about to perform something for us. It's called Wounded Dreams.
That's correct.
Sounds very, very interesting. Please take it away.
Okay. Amongst the silences of these restless nights, my voice wants to break through the shell of words to name and sing the evidence of our resolve and will to live past the glib claims of noble intentions. If you've never walked through the restless shadows of wounded dreams, beware. The young ones of tomorrow might curse you by not wanting to remember anything about your ways, because everything about you leaves a bitter taste in the mouth. Amongst the silences of these restless nights, our dreams refuse the perfumed bandages that try to hide the depths of the wounds. Our voice yearns for the precision to name what we are most responsive to, the way Our Lady of the Mutton Vindaloo of my desire said, "Listen here, Shorty, this is Hell's Kitchen. You'll walk out of here tall, you hear?" Though the present remains a dangerous place to live, cynicism would be a reckless luxury, a pile of toxic lies deodorized to sound like the most clear signage showing us the way forward from here.
Yep. May his soul rest in peace. And so, Trendz is the name of our game, and with that, we introduce a new segment to the show, a weekly update on trending topics from home and across the African diaspora. Nadia Adams-Parton will be bringing us the lowdown on the social and celebrity front. And so, roll it.
South Africa's blonde bombshell Candace Swanepoel has just been named the most influential Insta model, and with a following of around 11.8 million, we can totally understand why. The 29-year-old Victoria's Secret model earns as much as 840,000 rand per post. Swanepoel beat out some of her besties such as Rosie Huntington-Whitley, who has around 7.6 million followers on the gram. The KZN beauty is also expecting her second child with fiancé Herman Nicoli. Grey's Anatomy's Ellen Pompeo has just signed a major deal with the show's production house. That will see her earn around 7 million rand per episode, making her the highest paid actor in TV. In a candid interview with Hollywood Reporter, Pompeo admitted that she'd previously asked for a better deal and had been declined. And while she was the star of the show, her co-star Patrick Dempsey was earning more than her. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's romance is being made into a movie. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Titled Harry and Meghan, the film from Lifetime Studios will chronicle their courtship, their first date, how they kept their romance under wraps, and the global media attention surrounding their relationship. Casting of the film is currently underway and the release date will be announced soon. John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein are jumping ship. The screenwriting duo behind Sony and Marvel's Spider-Man Homecoming are moving over to DC. The guys are in talks to direct Warner Brothers' Flashpoint movie. The film will star Ezra Miller reprising his role as Barry Allen, the Flash from Justice League. The Flash solo film has previously had 2 other directors attached. The 35-year-old ban on cinema in Saudi Arabia has officially been lifted, and this past weekend saw the screenings open to the first time to the public. The Emoji Movie broke the seal on the ban with a week-long series of screenings that took place at a state-run cultural centre, as no permanent theatres have been opened yet. The first commercial theatre is believed to open as early as March.
Right. And so, have you ever wondered what inspires creative artists to come up with thought-provoking and sometimes mind-blowing artworks? Well, today we have invited sculptor and painter Ndabuko Nduli, and he'll be taking us through his artwork, which he will be, completing here. He started a little while ago, and I'll be keeping you updated on his progress as the show goes, and by the end of the show, we'll see what he comes up with. And if you can figure out sort of kind of what this is, tweet us and let us know. So, Ndabuko, hi. How are you? Good, 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 thank you. So I like this, and one great thing that I learned about you is that you actually live fully, the saying that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Because your stuff is all from recycled stuff, thrown away pieces. Tell us about your artwork.
Yeah, sibona ukuthi asishintshe dadewethu indima le ye-art. Siphume manje ekutheni sisebenzise upende, but sizama ukuclean up ngoba kungcola kakhulu.
Okay.
Emzansi sizama ukuclean up, sithatha izinto eseyisetshenzisiwe mhlambe nje ngubonga.
Yeah.
Yizo zonke izinto lezo ezazigcina kuphuma umsebenzi.
Where do you find your materials? Like anywhere?
Alexandra.
Okay.
Kugcwele udoti kakhulu.
Yes.
Bathi lokishe lingcolile abaningi.
Right.
And
nobody does the clean up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everybody litters, everybody complains about it,
yeah,
but nobody says, okay, let's actually clean up our streets. Nice one. And so your art has basically taken you all over the world. and you know, the sky, you're only actually just starting. And so this is a lifelong thing. I mean, even in your family, it was your dad who was also an artist. So do you think, you know, was it from watching him all the time that you said, I want to do this, or do you just think it's in your blood?
Umkhulu kahle kahle uyena owenza art ngesikhathi sobandlululo. Babe ngavumelekile ukuthi benze izinto ezinjengalezi ngoba kwakufuna babe izingcela ngobe zabantu abamhlophe. Ungixolele ngalokho kodwa kufuna ngisho. Okay, kusho ukuthi ke uthe sehamba emhlabeni kwanemisebenzi yakhe eminye ayishiya kumina. Noma angipha yona ukuthi ngikwazi ukuqhubeka mhlambe nokulokho zami. Then umoya wakhe ngisho ukuthi uyawakwazi ukungena ngaleyo ndlela kumina. Then ngayithuka sengikwazi ukusebenza njengoba ngibona ngisebenza ngoba akuyona into engathi mhlambe ngihambile ngayothola imfundo yayo.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Oh, wow. That was amazing. I mean, Ndabuko was just saying, you know, his father basically passed on the baton to him to carry on his artworks. And this is exactly what he's doing, living his best life. We will take a look at what he finishes up later on in the show. So stay tuned. Trendz is back after this break.
Rights and recourse tackles constitutional issues.
When South Africa became a constitutional democracy, we had a fairly sound legal system in place requiring the Constitution to guide the direction in which it must go and the way in which it must be refashioned.
The Justice Ministry, the custodian of human rights.
We actually have a plan to come up with a comprehensive review of our human rights instrument.
Advocates dealing with evidence.
Sometimes you have to use a crook to catch a crook. So we expected that the credibility would really be taken to task. You try and consult your witnesses and prepare them as best as you can.
Hashtag Rights with Dumila Matez on legal issues every Sunday at 2 o'clock Central African Time.
Africans are increasingly using digital platforms for life, work and play.
Information is key for us. We live in an information age. We live in the digital age.
I'm mostly on WhatsApp because not all my friends have iPhones, so they don't have FaceTime.
On Network, we tell you about Africa's technology and social media landscape.
And some here are using the internet to raise political concerns.
Some of the exposés on political issues come from what we call your diasporic online media.
Africans are also using technology to create. For African technology and social media news, join me, Phumelele Zondi, on Network every Sunday at 9 p.m.
Welcome back. You're tuned to Trendz. So the Sun Met celebrated with GHM has become South Africa's most prestigious horse racing event. Now, from the ponies and the punters to the fillies and the fashionistas, the Sun Met this year will be hosted by the beautiful Mrs. Jones, aka Minnie Dlamini, along with GHM CEO Usain Bolt. Now, to tell us more, Minnie is here, and she's not alone. She's joined by designer to the stars, Gert Johan Kutsia. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
I know, right? So, countdown to the Met.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Minnie. You were just announced, you posted, this week, and you were saying, oh my gosh, this is finally happening. Tell us what went through your mind and everything that you're going through basically in the lead up to the event.
Well, it obviously started with the announcement that I'm one of the brand ambassadors for GHM.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited about it. We gave it a really nice title. I really wanted to make it Angular specific. So you want to know exactly what this brand ambassador stands for, what they represent, and how they fit with the brand.
Right.
And so what they decided to do, they said, you're the master of ceremonies, Usain Bolt is the CEO, and the two of you are going to host this year's Met. We're bringing Africa to the world and the world to Africa.
Nice. So nice. Oh my gosh. How do you fit into this?
Well, the theme is style ahead of the field.
Yes.
So that is quite exciting. And you know, me and Minnie, we work so well together, creating some beautiful fashion. So, of course, Mrs. Jones will once again be wearing Khacha and Kutsia.
For sure.
And that's very exciting. And I like the whole theme this year because it is a very easy theme, almost for the general public to go to.
Okay. But for you, that doesn't mean that. It's easy. So tell us a little bit. I know you can't give away. Of course, you're going to look stunning, Minnie. And, you know, as you say, the kind of energy, I don't know, actually, you guys must tell us. Is it a collaborative thing, or do you just actually let Khat take the reins and say, go crazy?
It's always a collaboration.
Sure,
I mean, I would hate it if somebody told me, you wearing this and go. So we always like lots of voice notes. We're just talking about long voice notes just now. It's always some voice note or some video. And just really to also capture Minnie's personality. I mean, I know her so well by now. But just also to make sure she's comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, we start off with, you know, sort of thinking about what the general idea is going to be. But I think what's really, really important is that, you know, everyone is in the industry, you're an industry professional in your own field. I'm not now trying to turn around and say that I'm a designer and I'm going to dictate to the designer what to wear. I kind of had an idea, and we spoke about the themes and what sort of images I want to portray and what sort of look and feel that we wanted to go with. And we're going quite African, but still really, really modern. So not the conventional African theme that you might think of, but it was really, really important that when you see me on stage there, is that it looks like an international brand, but it also still makes sense to Africa and South Africa as a whole.
Okay.
Think Afro-chic.
Afro-chic. Okay, cool. I like that. But where do you think, I mean, give advice to people who are watching right now, because there's certain events where the public in general, they just don't know how to translate a theme. So what are the tips? What do people do versus don't do?
I think the first thing, if you don't understand a theme, is just go to old Sis Gugu and Google it. And just see kind of what comes up. Hit Pinterest a bit. See what other people think the theme is. Because it's terrible if you get there and you miss the theme completely.
You know what I mean?
Especially with things like all white parties and you're the only person in color.
You know, there's always that person. There's always that person.
I kick them out.
Yes.
Really? You don't deserve to be
You know what I mean? Like, honor the theme, dress the part. Another thing, Minnie, I know, oh girl, those shoes, thank you. Okay, lovely. But those won't work, I think, for this event.
I'll be honest with you. You know, they've got all these heel protector things. So there's a lot of tips and tricks that you can do for the racers nowadays. But I won't lie. I'm one of those people where I will suffer for beauty. I will wear. No. That's like, what shoes are you wearing? And I'm like, you don't worry about. He's like, what shoes are you wearing? And it's really, really important. So I'll compromise and sink some heels and grass to make sure that the outfit is perfection. So I'm the worst when it comes to that. But if you can find heel protectors, go out there. If you're wearing a long dress, it doesn't make sense to be in a stiletto heel. You're just going to ruin your shoes. So there are a few tips that you can get away from. I'm wearing a dress that's sort of semi-long, semi-short. So my shoes are ruined after the Met, I can tell you that.
Okay, it's one pair just for the Met. And then, I mean, you will be emceeing, you know, with Usain Bolt. Have you met him before?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay, you haven't. So what are you feeling? What are you know, I don't know.
I mean, he's a sporting legend, so I couldn't be more honored and excited to be associated with his brand, let alone getting the opportunity to meet him. But what I love about him is that, you know, he represents hope, he represents endurance, he represents fearlessness, he represents so many things across the racial barrier, which is what I love. And I'm just so excited that I get to speak to a legend, find out what makes him tick, and at the end of the day, just have fun with him. We're celebrating. The whole thing's about daring, winning, and celebrating. And I'm just really, really excited that I get to pick the brain of a legend.
Sure, fantastic. Khat, what are you looking forward to about this year's Sun Met? And I mean, the GHM marquee is always amazing. So what are you looking forward to?
I always just look forward to the fashion, to see what people came up with and how they interpret
One thing I'd actually want to ask is, you know, it's your job. So certain people, if you're with a filmmaker, for example, you go watch a film, they don't really watch, they critique every little thing, you know what I mean? Do you do that when it comes to fashion?
I'm not like that. I'm just, you know, if you're creative for a living, the last thing I have worrying about is what another designer puts somebody in. Even if it's bad, we're going to say it's bad. We'll keep that to each other. But I'm not a person that's going to pick things apart and criticize other people.
So you go there and you enjoy. It's an event. It's enjoy.
And by that time, you're so sick and tired of fashion that you don't really care what the others do. So for me, it's just really seeing how they interpreted the theme, and that is the fun part for me. Because I think, back to how easy this theme is, it's Afro-chic is a very easy take on this type of a theme. So I'm expecting there's going to be so much print there. I think it's going to be a really multicolour African celebration.
And well, the thing about it, do you think though that the African print, theme and Ankara designs or whatever, have they been done and redone? Like, is it enough? Is it, what do you think?
I mean, my thing is if you're going to India and you watch their fashion weeks, you're seeing a sari after sari after sari.
Right.
It's not that it's tied, it's that it's what authentically makes them them.
Right.
And what I'm excited to see is designers really interpret different patterns and interpret the design and the print in different ways. We've seen Ankara and print done in so many different ways. How are you going to do it differently?
Right.
But also, how are you going to interpret the theme maybe without print, but still keep it quite African and ethnic? I think that's quite exciting to see how people try and interpret it there.
Because we all know prints. So for designers, I'm really expecting them to push the envelope a little, because a print is a print is a print.
Yeah.
But for the everyday woman that doesn't go to a designer, I think she'll be pretty safe with a great African print. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you there. So when is everything going down? What can people look forward to? Minnie, anything you can, I don't know, mention that isn't on a press release on Google right now?
Well, it is on the 27th. We are going to be at the paddock, which is probably going to be the hottest marquee. I mean, we've got some of the hottest shows, the hottest people that are going to be there. But what it really is, I think it's the second year with sort of the new sponsorship. So it's the second year celebrated with MUM. And what they've really done this year is really taken it outside of what it's always been. You know, it's always been Africa's premier event. Now we're really trying to make it one of the global hotspots on the social calendar internationally.
Okay,
so
I like that. Minnie, see you on the 27th.
We'll see you on the 27th.
Thank you so very much, guys. That's absolutely amazing. And I hope everyone heard, everybody who's on Instagram and Twitter and the memes, it's not mum, it's not Dimamzo, it's GH Mum. Please, guys, please. All right, and so, well, with the new year comes new hopes and aspirations for many. But as the year takes its toll and our stressful lives happen and many of us don't live up to the goals we set, right? So fitness is at the top of the Trendz agenda this year, and two of our producers are taking on the year in charge, fully going full steam at living their best lives, but more than that, their healthiest lives. Take a look.
We became inspired to take on the new year with a health and fitness resolution. Vowing to see it through to the end of the year, we hope to inspire you along the way. We partnered with celebrity wellness coach Lisa Raleigh, who is in the forefront of nutrition and fitness in South Africa.
I actually fell in love with helping people, so not just from a personal training perspective, but nutrition, behaviorally. I'm actually just qualifying to become a life coach recently, and I am developing a whole set of programs that will be available online on my e-store very shortly. So let me show you the ropes, and hopefully we can inspire others out there to follow in your footsteps, and kind of like, even if they take a nugget or two of my advice every episode and they apply it to their lives, hopefully after a year that would be like 50 or so little nuggets of information, and we would have inspired, you know, hundreds of thousands of people to transform their lives just like you ladies would have. So the journey is going to be a very holistic one for the two of you, and so today we started off with a screening. And that screening entailed a body composition test, so that we go a little bit deeper than just analyzing weight, because to me, like, weight as a metric means nothing, because really, who cares how much you weigh? Let's be honest, a guy is not going to have a look at a girl prancing along the beach and go, oh, I wonder what she weighs. You know, it's going to be like, wow, look at her body, she's in amazing shape, and weight has nothing to do with it. It's actually how you feel and what you look like that really, really matters.
But before any wellness program can commence, it's vital to release all the toxins. Raleigh put us on a detox that eliminates 8 food sources that creep into our diets in excess and put strain on our bodily functioning. This includes caffeine, animal proteins, added sugar, dairy, wheat, alcohol, added salt, and processed or refined foods. The detox goes along with an eliminate kit, which has a few essentials to assist you through the cleanse.
Okay, ladies, this is a really critical step in this whole cleansing process. It's got everything that you need for your 10-day cleanse. So I'm going to run through it very quickly with you both. This is my little magic tool. Okay, this is called a dry brush. You're going to use this for a minute or two before you jump into the shower every single day. You use it in long sweeping strokes, always towards the direction of the heart. So upwards, and then from here downwards, up, back of the legs, down your back, arms, the whole works. It really helps to get the lymphatic system moving. It helps to stimulate circulation. It helps big time with cellulite. Okay, so we want to use this once a day, every single day. I've got you some vegetable stock, and this veggie stock is fabulous because it's got no sodium in it, and it's really healthy for you, and it's a great foundation for a lot of the recipes, to make your recipes taste good, because I want you to stick on this for a minimum of 10 days, okay? So I want your food to taste good. Then we've got a little serving of Himalayan rock salt. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's got a little bit less sodium than your regular salt. It's got your trace elements and minerals, and a little bit healthier than your regular salt, all right? And this is a treat for you both on day 5. When you've cleansed for 5 days, I want you to have an Epsom salts and sodium bicarbonate bath, okay? And you're going to jump in the bath, hot water, add this inside, and you're going to soak for half an hour, drink lots and lots of water, and it also helps to just cleanse out all the toxins. Xylitol syrup, fantastic for sweetening foods like your oats in the morning, like your herbal teas that you're going to be allowed on the cleanse if you are really struggling without sugar, okay? Great substitutes. A little bit of coconut oil, just a sample. You make your eggs in it, you can have your roasted vegetables in it, you can make popcorn in it, oven roasted potato wedges, anything that you normally cook your veggies or foods in it, you'd rather use coconut oil. Doesn't go rancid when you heat it up at high temperatures, and it's not volatile at high temperatures. Okay, so really, really stable oil. And then this is not the greatest product, okay, for when it comes to texture, but oh my gosh, is it effective. So you're adding 2 teaspoons of your bentonite clay, 2 teaspoons of psyllium husk with a little bit of water. If you really struggle, you can add it to a little bit of your vegetable juices or some herbal tea or a little bit of apple juice, homemade apple juice. And you're going to block your nose and you're going to get it in. And it helps to scrape the walls of the colon clean. It also helps to absorb toxins. And we're literally going to only have this once a day in the mornings whilst you're having your fruit. I promise you, the first couple of days you're not going to feel so great. You may have headaches, withdrawals, side effects, grumpy, tired, just like you would with any cleanse when you're taking out all the stimulants that you are very used to.
Alongside our nutritional shift is also the rebounding exercise regime, Bounce Back. Rally believes rebounding is one of the most effective, enjoyable and time-efficient ways to get fit, tone up and lose weight. Rebounding has huge health benefits, and this one swift movement is key to improving your entire body. And with our first session under our belt, we'll be bouncing back into shape in no time.
Okay, so that's it for our very first session here with Lisa. We just did a hectic rebounding session.
I don't know how we're going to make it through 12 months of this, but we're definitely going to do our best.
We sure will be posting up everything on our social media page. Follow us on @Trendz on SABC for daily updates, but in every 2 weeks you'll be seeing us on your screen, so check it out.
Bye guys.
Bye. Ooh, trying to fall in love with you. Ooh.
Okay, Kat and Nadia, I don't know if that was a whole lot of health, a health journey starting, or you guys are just having too much fun on that trampoline. In any case, it should be fun, so kudos to you guys. We are going to an ad break. Our artist is still busy in studio, and so I'll check in with him shortly.
A warm welcome to one of your favorite weekly review analysis programs, Media Monitor. So let's look at the race itself.
It's just becoming a personality contest where people just want somebody to guard their own vested interest. And I feel that the country is at a point now where we need some sort of change.
It is ANC policy that they will have to implement.
We fairly know the direction the ANC wants to take. As a leader, you have to implement.
So what was it like on the ground in Kenya?
Well, the country is divided. The country is very divided.
I think within the country, for me, the one person that I criticize severely, and I'm not very happy with his approach, is Raila Odinga, with him pulling out.
Stay tuned to Media Monitor and catch on analysts unpacking top stories every Sunday from 9 a.m.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trends on the SABC News channel. Of course, so if you missed that, we have an artist in studio. Ndabuko's here. I'm going to chat with him in a little while. He actually started on this art piece a little while ago. He says it's got some tweaks and things that he needs to do. But tell us on Twitter, @Trends on SABC, what is it? Do you think you can make out? I'll give you 2 clues. It's a face of someone that I think the world basically loves. It's a man's face, is an influential leader, and what else? Okay, he has a book. It's called The Audacity of Hope. Tweet us, and maybe, you might just be the one to guess correctly. And so in our next story, the Terra Culture Arena in Lagos is currently showcasing a theatre production titled Fela and the Kalakuta Queens. So the play showcases the life of Nigerian Afrobeat king Fela Kuti and the women around him. The Terra Culture Arena was closed for a few months for renovations, but has recently reopened to provide audiences with an all-new and better theatre experience.
This production is the first to showcase at this state-of-the-art theatre house. Directed by Bonlanle Austin Peters, the play focuses on Fela Kuti's colorful lifestyle, which included his fearless critics of Nigeria's then corrupt and oppressive military regime, only served to heighten the mystique. Fela Kuti electrified Nigerians and many music lovers all over the world with his hip-shaking and strangely hypnotic blend of jazz, funk, and West African folk rhythms.
I'd worked with the United Nations for years, came back home, and I felt that there was a gap, that we could do a lot more in the arts and culture space, especially working as an expatriate. You tend to go to a lot of art venues, so we didn't have a lot in Nigeria, so I decided to build this.
Initially built in 2003, this center was launched to promote diversity in different cultures. For nearly 30 years, the country's performing arts scene has been virtually non-existent, with its national theater hardly staging any shows.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a step forward for the arts, especially for stage. So she's doing a great thing, and I'm happy to be part of this production.
I hope theatre stage plays become much bigger in this part of the world. I know it costs probably a lot to do these kind of productions and all that. So let's pray for even a bigger space, much larger space, so that a lot of people can also come and watch.
With audiences keen to watch more homegrown stories, producers are taking advantage to embrace modern technology on the stage and in productions. Austin Peters says she wants to highlight the importance of the discipline in promoting talent and jobs in Nigeria. The theatre sits about 400 people.
Nice one. And so we are going to an ad break again. Stay tuned. Trends is back after this. We're talking magic. We're talking with an artist who's doing some amazing work here in studio. So stay tuned to Trends. You don't want to miss out.
Violence against women, it also talks to such behavior where teachers, instead of educating kids and give them dignity, they strip them of their dignity.
The First Lady.
The First Lady, her action, it's just unacceptable. I must say that it cannot be condoned. If I had it my way, I would say we had to act and make sure that he goes to jail.
This scourge is not ceasing.
The angry people, the intolerant, it's so huge. So then the scourge finds itself within that particular environment. You cannot say that it's a standalone. It's influenced by social ills, economic challenges.
Join me in Port Sedu live every Monday to Thursday at 17:30.
An exciting opportunity and an absolute must for those with the spirit of adventure is a Kruger Park night game drive.
The railway station itself is already a sight to behold and offers gracious colonial-style buildings and serves as the departure and arrival point for all train journeys.
I wanted to dress with my best color. Being awarded to do the Superintendent Pavilion is the highest commission in my career, and I want her just to come and show me with my best clothes, and that is blue.
Catch Trendz Travel every Sunday from 12 to 1 for all the global travel and leisure trends.
Welcome back. You are still tuned into the one-stop entertainment news hub on the SABC News channel. And so magic, the age-old wonder of the world. Many have asked over time, is it real? Is it an illusion? And will we ever really know the secret behind the greatest of the great magicians? Now, mentalist and magician Brendan Peel flew down from Port Elizabeth recently to give us some tips and tricks. Let's see how much he gives away. Take a look at this next insert.
The art of illusion has been mastered by Brendan Peel, who is one of the youngest magicians and top mentalists in South Africa. He has travelled around the country and the world, exciting people with his mysterious tricks. Inspired by the likes of Darren Brown, David Blaine and Andy Neyman, Peel has created many of his own magic effects, blurring the line between reality and fiction.
How I became a magician is I went to a library, I read a book on magic. I got really, really fascinated about this book. And I just learned a couple of tricks here and there. And then I would take those tricks that I learned, go to friends and family and people that I know, and I would just show them these tricks. And after showing them these tricks, I saw like the wonder in their eyes, right? And I thought, wow, this is really awesome, right? And that was the feeling that I had, that I liked creating that wonder among people. So that's where I kind of sparked into, okay, now I want to learn more tricks to create more wonder.
Watching one of these mind-blowing performances always leaves you wondering how on earth it is even possible. Seeing is believing, as they say, but what if what you see and what you believe is in fact just an illusion?
The majority of what we do is completely fabricated. It's a complete illusion. And when I say majority, I mean there's no such thing as real magic, okay? There's no such thing. I hate to break it to you folks, but there's no such thing as magic, okay? But what mentalists in particular tend to do is we tend to use like psychological techniques and genuine kind of abilities and skills, like memorization skills that we may learn and pick up on. And those are real. Sometimes they come off and seem as magic, especially some of the memorization stuff that I do. It may seem like magic, but that is more real. But as far as like pulling a rabbit out of a hat or making like a card vanish, those types of things, no one can really make something that's here really vanish. It's up to the magician to create the illusion of that. And the better the magician is, kind of the more believable that illusion is. But yes, to answer your question directly, no such thing as real magic or anything like that. I quickly scribbled out something in this little envelope. I'm going to ask you to think of one digit at a time, because you're going to try and tell me what you think this 2-digit number in here is, okay? Just off the top of your head, don't think about it too much. 1. Okay, that is an odd number, which is fine. And I try to dissuade you from the odd numbers, but 1 isn't such a commonly chosen number because, of course, 1 is the very first number on a 1-digit spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So I want you now to think of the second digit. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you about the second digit is different to the first digit. That's the only clue you have. So take a wild guess at what you think the second digit may be. 6. Okay, that's fascinating. So an odd 1 digit and then a 6 even digit. Inside here we have the little piece of paper. Just go ahead, take that out, hold it face down for now. And just to recap, completely free choices. There's literally a 1 in 99 chance that is correct, okay? But to recap, your numbers were?
1 and 6.
1 and 6, which will be 16. Completely free choice. I want you to go ahead, turn it over and read what's on it.
Oh my God.
It says, in fact, 16, ladies and gentlemen. You can keep that eBay, obviously.
Mentalism is another form of magic, tricks of the mind, and an art form Peel has come to enjoy most in the work that he does.
It's something you can eat. Yeah. It's an apple, right? Is it apple? Is it apple? It's apple. Mentalism is essentially magic of the mind. So it's basically using a blend of trickery, psychology, and kind of all these other kind of techniques of deception put all together to create maybe the effect of reading minds or predicting the future. It's all kind of all the magic happens in your head or in the person's head that is kind of watching there. Whereas other kind of more visual magic, it's not as engaging or interactive because you can sit there, I can make a ball disappear and you would enjoy it, but with mentalism I actually have to like speak to you and actually engage with you, and sometimes the magic actually feels more real to the people. Mentalism feels more real because it's all happening in your head, and that's the beauty of mentalism, and that's why I mainly do mentalism. But of course I do all the other kind of card tricks and these types of things.
The idea of magic may be a phenomenon of the past, but it is certainly making a comeback, with the demand for entertainment growing steadily, especially in Cape Town, where the magical community is biggest. So if you're in the mood for some wonder and amazement, a magician is not far off.
Okay, so who knew that kind of magician and artist exists in the small town of Port Elizabeth, right? In Feb, I think it is, the Illusionists come to South Africa. Make sure that you go online, check those tickets out, and be at Monte Casino, I think it is, for some amazing, amazing mind work from the very best from overseas. And so now, if you're in art circles, you'll definitely have heard of the name Ndabuko Ntuli. So his ambition and goal is to travel the world, but only so that he can showcase his work while at the same time touching the lives of those he meets. Now, most of the objects he uses are made from recycled material, as you can see, and he makes 3D installations. Now, in the next few weeks, he'll also be traveling to New York to have his work exhibited. So, Ndabuko? Like, this is amazing. I mean, we did say earlier on that, you know, your work is a lot of things that you collect off the streets from people, anywhere, everywhere, and you make amazing pieces. Now, something like this, I want to know, do you start first with a sketch? How does the work come together? Just explain to us your process.
Okay. Ngokujwayelekile vele mawi-artist uqala usketch ngepeni lakho lomsizi uze ngopende wakho paint ukhipha leyo figure osuke ufuna ukuthi uyikhiphe. Mina ke sengikuthatha njenge basic ye-art ukwenza into njengaleyo. We have to move on manje ngoba siku-21st century kufuna siqhamuke nezinto ezintsha singalo sasibambelela njalo kulezi zinto ezazisetshenziswa kudala ukuthi kwenziwe ubuciko. Njengamanje ke mase ngiqedileke ukwenza isketch sami ngaphinde ngapenda kula ngiqala khona ke manje ngizo-artha.
Okay.
So
you layer it almost. It's first a 2D
yes.
you know, painting first, or a sketch, and then you layer it to make it a 3D model. Okay, so is this basically how you do all your work? Are you known just for this, or do you also do paintings? What kind of you know, do you use pastels? Do you use clay? Do you use, what else do you use in your art?
Emsebenzini emdala ngiqale vele ngipenda
Okay.
kakhulu. Yeah, bengenza bengisebenzisa acrylic nama oils on canvas.
Okay.
Sebenza
But
kanjalo.
one thing, Ndabuko, I want to touch on is the fact that some of this stuff is not cheap. You know,
Yes.
materials are not cheap. So you find a lot of artists perhaps who will use chalk and just do, you know, or pencil. That's cheaper. But when you talk about acrylics and different kinds of canvases, this isn't cheap. You know what I mean? So for a young person who is in Ekasi somewhere and thinking, you know what, I think I do have a knack for this, and buy a sketch, you know, every time in class in mathematics, every time they just basically are, you know, trying to sketch and create a lovely piece of work. But they're thinking, I could never do it because when I go to art galleries, it's these big things and it costs money. So what advice would you give to them?
I-answer ivele ihlelo bala ngani ngoba buka lokhu mina angikuthengile nje lokho. Ngihambile ngakuxosha ngasebenzisa ingqondo ukwazi ukukhipha lento engiyenzayo njengamanje.
Yeah.
So angikwazi ukugijima ngithi ngizohamba ngiyothenga upende ngiyothenga ini.
You use what's around you.
Lokho okuseduze kwami kungenza ngikwazi ukuziveza nje.
And that's the thing, that's the creativity in you as an artist. I think in every sector, you know, whether it's film, whether it's TV, money is never enough, and you just have to be creative in how you actually execute your work. You're going to New York?
Yeah.
First time there? No?
I think in New York, I think it's the first time.
Okay, but you've been other places. Are you excited? What are you going to do? How many pieces are you taking? What's the most expensive one? Tell us all about it.
Okay, ngizothatha cishe mhlamba amapiece awu-5.
Okay.
Angalingana yona le size.
All right.
Yeah, ukwenza ukuthi ngingahambi nomsebenzi omningi. Uyabiza ke vele ke umsebenzi. Udayisa umsebenzi wodwa emibili cishe mhlambe ukwazi ukuphila isikhashanyana.
Okay.
Yeah, that is why ngizokunciphisa i-limit yemsebenzi engase ngihambe nayo.
Right.
Mhlambe ne-sculpture C1 esenziwe futhi ngayo imfocoza le esisebenza ngayo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you say you're traveling with about 5 pieces of this size, all of them 3D installations like this.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you travel? What happens at the airport? Oh my gosh, I can just imagine. It's chaotic.
Yeah, u-DTI kufuna sixhasa, uhulumeni ufuna sixhasa into enjengalezi njengoba singaba semzansi.
Yes.
So mangabe abanye bangaphandle besifuna kwamanye amazwe, kufanele uhulumeni angenelele. Akwazi ukuthi okungenani-ke asixhase ngokuthi asishiphele into zethu aphinde asibukhele indawo. Le ndawo engiyakuyona-ke is just bayibiza i-Harlem Arts Show.
Oh, nice. You're going to the Harlem Arts Show.
Exactly.
And so this is in partnership or conjunction with the DTI.
Yes.
They are basically taking you and a bunch of other South African artists to go and be a part of this.
Yes, about 14.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm an artist.
Fantastic, from all over South Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
And then booth
to showcase your work and also answer. Okay, but you're speaking Zulu now. I mean, when you get to Harlem, you can't be speaking Zulu. You have to be, listening to their twangs and everything. Okay, I did say to people, they must let us know what they think or who they think this is rather. Yes. I hope they guessed it right. I did say it's somebody who is amazing, who's revered the world throughout, and his book, of course, The Audacity of Hope. It is a portrait, a painting, 3D installation of Barack Obama. So, Ndavuko, thank you so very much for coming through. We wish you all the best. We definitely will see your name someday at the biggest, your Guggenheims and other amazing, galleries all over the world. Kudos to you for all that you do. Keep inspiring youngsters in the townships, anywhere, everywhere, to show them that they can do it. And it's not about the cost, it's about using your brain. Thank you so very much for coming through to Trendz. So yeah, hey, we keep on rolling out, established people who are starting out in the industry to show you that creativity, the arts, entertainment, showbiz, it is what you make it. This is the end of the show. First live show for 2018. Thank you so very much for joining me. My name is Refil Wemwilwa. Join me again next week. We're playing out with another amazing, amazing great man who has produced so much amazing work in South Africa. It's Robbie Malinga, his well-loved video with Musa. It's called Mtande. Goodbye.
Umtshelo uyamthanda uzombone moyizela njalo mthande umuntu wakho njalo uyamthanda